Hello everyone, it's Tuesday here at the Drive-In and I'm your host Brian Jew. Today is the 4th day of Hanukkah. I tried to make that a Christmas song, but it didn't really work. And Christmas is exactly 2 weeks away. So happy holidays, everyone. Actually, you know what? I guess I don't mind when people say happy holidays, but shouldn't we just say what we really, really mean? I mean, honestly, I'm not Jewish, but I don't think I'd be bothered if someone came up to me and said, Happy Hanukkah, Brian. I mean, they're not trying to insult me or anything. You know, if it's not a Christian, if someone comes up to you and say Merry Christmas, I don't understand why you'd be mad. It's not even, a lot of people don't even know that Christmas is a Christian holiday. A lot of people think it's a day of giving and receiving gifts. So, please don't take offense to it and just take it as a compliment. You know, it's a good way of saying happy holidays. Or if you don't want to say Merry Christmas, say happy holidays for people who might take offense to it. Just giving you some advice. So today we're going to start today's show with a 1988 film track from the movie Rain Man. This film starred Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman and made me believe that anyone can win at blackjack. And it's ironic and coincidental that I'm from New Jersey where there's a lot of casinos and my parents were blackjack dealers, and I can go on and on. Anyway, here's the Bell Stars with Eco Eco. Check it out. That was the Bell Stars with Iko Iko. I know I said Eco Eco earlier. I was just making sure you guys are awake and see if you caught on to it. I know a lot of people are tweeting right now. I was like, Brian, you pronounced it wrong. I did it for you guys. Making sure you're listening. It's Iko Iko. Anyway, I just want to let you guys know how to get in contact with us. You can call us here at the studio at 02778-1013. Send us a text at sharp 1013 for a charge of 51. Or email us at efmdrivein@gmail.com. Or simply send us a tweet, which is at efmdrivein. And make sure your requests are from a movie or TV show, and we'll do our best here to actually play the songs throughout the week or in the future, in the near future. So write down your names, where you're from, how old you are, whatever you want to talk about for your own information, and let us know what song you want to hear. All right, now it's time for the scene of the day. You know, in the 1980s, we had a lot of weird, interesting things happen. We had great pop culture, but on one hand, we really had some, weird things going on. Like, we had cool words. Back then, they said it was cool, but radical, bad, and that meant good things. But also, we had some really, really, really weird things. Like, I'm not going to say these people are weird, but their names do make me feel like they're a little strange. Like Weird Al Yankovic, Pee Wee Herman, and finally, this last entertainer. I know a lot of people forgot about him. He's one of my favorite entertainers growing up. I loved all his movies, TV shows, and commercials. I'm talking about Ernest P. Worrell. Yes! A lot of people nowadays do not know who Ernest P. Worrell is. Remember that guy who always wore those denim vests, and he had that hat on, and he had the catchphrase, know what I mean, Vern? Yes, that dude. Maybe it's been a while for you guys, but Ernest was played by a comedian named James Varney. Originally, Ernest was supposed to be your annoying redneck neighbor, and he appeared in several television commercials, but eventually the character got so popular with kids that he starred in a movie called Ernest Goes to Camp in 1987. And surprisingly, that was a hit, so Ernest finally got his own Saturday morning TV show. Well, in the next year, Ernest was still pretty popular, so around Christmas, they released another Ernest movie called Ernest Saves Christmas. And this movie has a decent plot. It's about Santa Claus coming to Florida to find his replacement. But then Santa arrives at the Orlando airport, and he needs a taxi. And conveniently, Ernest is a taxi driver. So they go off. And Ernest is a friendly guy, so they start a conversation. So let's just listen to the scene where Ernest and Santa Claus are had chatting in the cab.
Mister, that's Blitzen.
Wow. Donder and Blister. When I saw this movie, I was thinking, were there two reindeer that I forgot about? Donder and Blister? There's Donder and Blister and reindeers everywhere. That's not how the song goes, but yeah, you know the melody. Anyways, this is your basic kids movie, of course. Ernest aimed to entertain young children, and he was a lovable loser. To me, he was. Because he tried so hard to be cool, and it never worked out. It's like those kids in school who try so hard. All you got to do is relax and just be yourselves, but you try so hard, and Ernest tried so hard to fit in. And he was so bad at even the simplest jobs that he was supposed to do. But he had a great heart. That's what's important. Also, I think it was creative that it explained how Santa Claus can be around for so long when most people don't live to be more than 100 years old. Despite what you think of the fleeting moment, that was Ernest's peak of popularity. He actually did go on to make 7 more films after this one. And you might remember Ernest Goes to Jail. I remember that one, which bombed in theaters in 1990. But there was also Ernest Scared Stupid, Ernest Rides Again, Ernest Goes to School, Slam Dunk Ernest, Ernest Goes to Africa, and finally, Ernest in the Army. Man, I had no idea that he was making movies in the late 1998 times. Yes, I bet you would have made more if he didn't pass away in 2000. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. But I can still look back and honestly say Ernest was a very good character. There's something really lovable about this guy. He was really goofy, tried hard, but he had a great heart, so that's why people are attracted to him. And I think that's the main reason why children loved watching him on Saturday morning TV shows. And I just want to thank Ernest right now. I know you're up above in heaven watching me, and thank you for reminding me of my young child innocence. Now we're going to listen to a song from the film. There's a great score made for it, but since we are in the Christmas season, there's a medley of Christmas carols in the opening credits. But unfortunately, we're never going to know who's singing the carols because it was never credited in the film, and you can't find the soundtrack anywhere. But they're very important because they're part of this film. So here's a medley of Christmas carols from Ernest Saves Christmas. Yes, that was a medley of Christmas carols from Ernest Saves Christmas. And unfortunately, we can't name the names who sang the song or were a part of it because we don't have it. It wasn't credited. Anyway, I want to tell you guys what's coming up on today's show. It is Tuesday, which means Jason B will be here with us in the studio, but that'll be right after intermission. So stick around for that if you want to know about the K-films that he's bringing today. And also, I just want to let you guys know also how to subscribe to our podcast. If you have iTunes, just go in the search window and type The Drive-In on TBS efm 101.3 and subscribe there. Simple as that. If that's too complicated for you guys, we're also tweeting every time an episode is uploaded. So just click on the link. And remember our Twitter, it's at EFM Drive-In. So make sure to follow our Twitter and click on the link when we upload the episodes. All right, right now I want to talk about the next song that we're going to play for you guys. It's a song request, of course. The next song comes from the movie 4 Weddings and a Funeral. And this movie came out in 1994, and it was the first time that Hugh Grant worked with the then screenwriter, Richard Curtis, who would go to become a director. They teamed up again in several movies, including Notting Hill, Bridget Jones's Diary, and Love Actually. I love that movie. The movie 4 Weddings and a Funeral is about... If I have to explain this, you guys are really slow today. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. What do you think it's about? It's about 4 weddings and a funeral. No, basically it's about a group of friends and how they all have drama. Everyone in life has drama. And these 4 friends are, they have drama and who loves who. This person loves that person loves this person. And then one of them end up dying. Yes, and clearly something that people who like this is something that you see in Korean dramas. People love these kind of storylines. Yes. Anyways, I want to play a song from 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Now, this is sung by Elton John, and it's Chapel of Love.
Ready to face the enemy?
That was Elton John with Chapel of Love from the 4 Weddings and a Funeral movie soundtrack. Yes, great song. I love Elton John. He inspires me. Anyway, last week we played a song from the 1983 film Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, which was a Japanese-British film about the prisoners of war in World War II. Yes, it was so popular that another song in this film was requested here on the drive-in. And it was requested by a man named Mike. I'm assuming it's a guy because I've never met a female named Mike, although I've met guys named Jamie and Stephanie. I actually had a friend as a guy. His name was Stephanie. Yes, a male Stephanie does exist. And this time we're not going to play the song we played before because that's not what we do here. We don't do repeats. We might in the future, but right now we're not doing that. And we're going to play a song from the Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence original soundtrack. And this is Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence by Ryuichi Sakamoto. Welcome back on this chilly Tuesday morning. And we're here with Mr. Jason B himself for Korean Film Tuesdays. Hello, Jason.
Hello, Brian. How's it going?
I'm going very well right now. It's fun to be here, to be able to entertain people for an hour. It's an amazing job.
Yes.
I get paid for it. So I'm just joking.
Sounds awesome.
It's fun. It's fun.
It's great to listen to you every morning, Brian, on the radio.
Oh, I'm going to cry. The one thing about me is with compliments, I don't take them too great. Like, I do, but I'm very emotional. I'm a very sentimental person, so when I go home and I rethink about what happened throughout that day, I'm like, wow, Jason said a nice, sweet thing to me. I'll have my nice glass of wine and cry like a little woman. But more importantly, you brought great Korean films with you today.
Yes, the movie I brought today is called Punch or Wandogi, made in 2011, so last year.
And that's some new news for me because for a lot of people who know Wandogi, I did not know the English title was called Punch.
Oh, really? You didn't know?
I had no idea. Yes.
That's interesting. Well,
Learning
yes, for those of you who don't know, the English title for this movie is Punch.
Yes, that was the worst punch sound ever.
Wandogi is often known with the Korean title Wandogi. So directed by Lee Han. He's made films called My Love, Almost Love, and Lover's Concerto. That was back in 2002. This stars Kim Yeon-suk, who he's been in so many successful films. I mean, it's ridiculous. The Thieves this year, which made over 30 million admissions, and Yellow Sea was another relatively popular movie. Junichi as well, Running Turtle, then of course The Chaser, Tatsa. This guy is like one of the most successful actors in Korean cinema right now. So there you go. And it also stars Yoo Ah-in, who he plays Wanduk. So that's where the title comes from. He was in that Fashion King drama. He was also in Antique, made in 2008, which I quite like as well. Also starring Park Soo-young, who plays Wanduk's father, Jasmine Lee, who plays Wanduk's mother. She was also in Secret Sunshine, and Kim Sang-ho, who plays the middle-aged man. And he was in Champ, Moby Dick and Moss. This movie is based on a novel, and it follows tall, exotic-looking and aimless 17-year-old Wanduk, who lives in basically a shabby house in a poor hillside village with a dwarf father and a stammering uncle. And then one day his teacher reveals the surprising news that Wanduk's runaway mother was actually from the Philippines, and that Wanduk has a chance to see her again.
Ooh.
It's a really interesting
Never
film.
saw the movie, so.
I really like this film.
Never saw the film, but I always see Yoo Ah-in all the time. We have the same hairstylist.
Yeah, you were telling me this
Yes.
before the show started.
And we've known to grab a few drinks here and there once in a while because we like the same hangout spots here in Korea. Oh, and the key thing is I want to give a shout out to one of my friends. He's actually in the movie.
Okay.
He's an Indian-American friend of mine. His name is Sudeep Banerjee.
Is he the big guy, or...?
He's the one who says, like, Shinbunim or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't see the movie, but he always talks about it. Like, he promotes it. Like, when this movie first came out, he goes, hey, guys, you have to watch my movie. Like, he's the main character. So.
I think he was on one of the shows here. I think he was a guest on one of the shows here. Yeah, his Korean's really good.
Yeah, he speaks Korean almost fluently because his wife is actually a fluent Korean speaker herself.
Wow, there you go. Well, when you watch these movies, like, and you see some of these kind of non-Korean speaking Korean so well, it just makes me feel so envious.
Well, you speak Korean a little bit, don't you?
I speak Korean, but not like that. I mean, I'm not fluent by any means.
Starting today, we'll make our program Korean just for you. K-Film Tuesdays will be only Korean. 안녕하세요, 제이슨.
예, 안녕하세요.
네, 반갑습니다.
예, 반갑습니다.
네, 오늘 영화는 그럼 완득이 준비하셨고, 네, 더 이상 이 얘기에 대해서 말씀하시고 싶은 거? 네, 얼굴 빨개졌네요. His face just turned red.
Okay, right now I'm speaking Korean. But yeah, this movie was very popular. It was kind of a sleeper hit, 5.3 million admissions at the box office.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. This is a low-budget movie. It wasn't expected to do well. It did extremely well, and just goes to show how popular or Kim Yeon-suk is at the box office. And, for a blockbuster, for example, 5.3 million admissions is actually a respectable tally. But for a low-budget film like this one, this is seen as, a sizable, a big hit. And one of the reasons I like it is because it's so enjoyable. And when you think of kind of immigration and multiculturalism being tackled in a film, you think perhaps it might be a bit heavy, right? But this film is anything but. It's a very, very positive film. It has a bright outlook on this issue. And it's just a very, like I say, enjoyable, thought-provoking, and it tackles these issues in a very sensitive but very delightful way. And so, let's face it, multiculturalism is an issue here in Korea. Like there is a lot more non-Koreans here in Korea, and it's great to see a film tackle some of the issues that they face in a very, very sensitive, but yeah, like I say, very enjoyable and memorable way. And I think it's a testament to the fact that Jasmine Lee, who's I think she's from the Philippines, she's actually won a seat in the National Assembly earlier this year.
Oh.
And so that's kind of suggesting that Korea really is ready to embrace multiculturalism. And that's the message of this film, to embrace it rather than to be antagonistic towards it. So it's a serious movie in a sense. It tackles serious issues, but at the same time, it's a very enjoyable and absorbing movie, and thoroughly addictive. You'll be engaged for the whole duration.
Wow, so they pretty much mashed up a lot of things together.
Yeah, exactly, and it's got a great soundtrack as well, which really complements the uplifting nature of the film. And yeah, like I say, Kim Yoon-suk, he plays the role of the teacher in this movie, and he's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He just has that very interesting persona that's quite strong, but there's something really endearing about him. So
Okay.
I can't believe. I mean, he really has such a, like I say earlier, fantastic record at the box office. I worked out, I think, a few weeks ago that this is before The Thieves was so popular, but his films accumulated around 25 million admissions.
Wow.
So there you go. And with The Thieves now, that's
That way
gone through the roof
too. All right, with that said, and I actually did a little hint. I said he mashed up all these things together because the next song is by MASH from the original soundtrack of Wandagi, and this is Now Is the Time. Check it out. Once again, that was MASH. Now is the time from the Wandagi original soundtrack. And Jason's going to talk about movies right now. More K-films. What are we talking about right now?
We're going to talk about what's out this week. Now, no Korean film, as I understand it at least, is being released this week. Because I think this is due to the fact that The Hobbit is being released, which is the big Hollywood Christmas movie.
Of the year.
Yes. So there's not that many. Well, the thing is, there's been lots and lots of local releases in the past few weeks. So this week there isn't any.
Do you think they actually timed it that way because they knew The Hobbit was coming out? So like, let's get our movie to come out fast.
Perhaps quite often, studios will be very hesitant in going against, a big Hollywood movie because, sometimes it can pay off because for those that don't want to see The Hobbit, they'll then go and see a Korean movie. But sometimes if everyone wants to see, this Hollywood movie, then it affects other films. But what I'll do is I'll give you a brief lowdown of what's still out there. 26 Years, directed by Jo Gun-hyun, starring Chingu and Han Hye-jin. I talked about this film a couple of weeks ago. It's based on the comic To Convict the Person who is the main culprit of the Gwangju massacre that happened 26 years ago.
Okay.
I really found this film interesting. I think it's divided opinion. Like there's very mixed reviews out there as to whether people like this movie, but it's very, very sensitive politically, and with an election coming up, I think where you stand politically has a lot of it has an impact on what you think about the film overall. But nonetheless, it's a very interesting movie. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, this film was partly funded by personal donations. I think 12,000 people, or even more, made personal donations for this movie. And when the credits go up at the end of the movie, you can see all their names. So it's quite moving. Like, I love the fact that people are making personal contributions towards a movie.
I wish somebody would make a personal contribution to my album.
Yeah, maybe you should ask people, I'm
going to tweet that later.
Yeah, put it on Twitter.
Just joking.
Subtle hint. Also, another film that's out is My P.S. Partner, directed by Byung Sung-hyung. I talked about a little bit about this last week, starring Kim Ah-jung, Lee Sung-kyung. I haven't seen this movie yet, but I'm hoping to see it soon. It's a romantic comedy, and like I said a couple of weeks ago, Kim Ah-jung, this is her first movie since £200 Beauty. Also in cinema, Confession of Murder, which is a thriller, an interesting thriller, especially the opening sequence is phenomenal. It's directed by Jung Byung-gil and it stars Jung Jae-young, and it's actually done okay. It's made over 2 million admissions, and considering Werewolf Boy, which I'm going to talk about now, that's dominated the screens over the last few weeks. Given the dominance of the Werewolf Boy, Confession of Murder, it's done pretty well. Nega Salim Bomida as the Korean title. And yeah, Werewolf Boy directed by Jo Sung-hee, starring Song Joong-ki and Park Bo-young. This movie has taken the box office by storm, made over 6 million admissions. I saw this movie before it was released, and I thought it was going to do okay, but I think this movie's overperformed. I didn't expect it to do so well.
I mean, certain movies do that, though.
I know, exactly.
This movie will do well, but then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, it did really well.
Exactly, and
yes.
I was really, really surprised. It's basically I wouldn't say rip off, but I think Twilight, the Twilight series, had a big impact on the way this film has been constructed, and it's interesting that it actually went heads to heads with the was it Breaking Dawn Part 2, and this film Werewolf Boy actually came out on top. So there you go. You got an example of a Korean film kind of using a Hollywood movie or using some ideas from a Hollywood movie and then kind of tailoring it towards local audiences and then doing better than the Hollywood movie itself. So That's interesting. We saw that with The Thieves earlier this year. I think the Oceans films were kind of I wouldn't say an inspiration, but certainly an idea, and Masquerade as well. So kind of borrowing, or using Hollywood ideas, but then tailoring it for local audiences. So it's quite an interesting trend in Korean cinema this year, certainly with the more successful films. And then you've got this documentary that I was talking about last week, Arirari, the Korean cinema, or Yeonghwapan is the Korean title. I'm not sure if it's still out there, but if you can find like an art house cinema that's showing this film, definitely recommend it. It's a must-see for Korean film fans. It's about Korean films, or the Korean film industry over the last few decades, how it's come to become so popular, and it looks at the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and it also looks at the studios as well, and the influence they have, and so it tries to give a kind of a balanced perspective on the Korean film industry. So it interviews like directors, but it also interviews those from the studios themselves.
Alrighty. Cool.
Definitely recommended.
Well, you basically had a wrap of all the Korean films that are out right now and all the recommendations from Jason himself, but unfortunately it's time to say goodbye to Jason.
No!
Jason hates leaving. He loves the studio. It's warm in here. It's cold outside. That's why you want to stay in here. That's the main reason.
Freezing.
Yes, it is.
This weather's so cold.
But we have a great song for you guys right now to warm you up. This is from the Werewolf Boy original soundtrack, and this is 철부지, sung by John Park. Once again, that was John Park with 철부지. And right now I want to play another song request for you guys. And the next song comes from a film about one of the best musicians of the 20th century, Johnny Cash. While he's mainly known as a country music icon, he has such great appeal that he was inducted into not only the Country Music Hall of Fame, but also the Gospel Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the film is called Walk the Line. And it was released in 2005, and it starred Joaquin Phoenix as Johnny Cash. So here's Johnny Cash singing I Walk the Line from the film. Once again, that was Johnny Cash with I Walk the Line from the Walk the Line original soundtrack. I know that's a total different song, but that melody came to mind. I don't know why. But unfortunately, it's time to let you guys go. It's Brian Ju, but I gotta go home now. Yes, but you gotta stick around because 1013 Main Street with An Jung-hyun is next. The beautiful An Jung-hyun is next, so stick around for that. And we'll end today's show with a request from Mira from the film Eyes Wide Shut, a movie you should not see if you're very young. Or even if you're old, it doesn't matter how old you are in age. This movie is too naughty. Mira. Anyway, here's the Jazz Suit number 2 waltz from the film. So check it out. This is Brian Ju signing off, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.